The origin of voodoo, or Vodou, is deeply rooted in the spiritual traditions of West and Central Africa, particularly among the Yoruba, Fon, and Congo people. With the Atlantic slave trade, enslaved Africans carried their spiritual practices across the ocean to the Americas, where these beliefs merged with Catholicism and local indigenous beliefs, particularly in Haiti and parts of the southern United States. This blending created unique forms of Vodou, such as Haitian Vodou and Louisiana Voodoo, each carrying the core essence of African spirituality while incorporating Catholic saints, prayers, and icons. Vodou's African roots run deep, originating in spiritual systems that date back thousands of years. In these African religions, the belief is centered around a supreme creator, spirits known as the Loa, or Lwa, and ancestors who act as protectors and intermediaries between the divine and the earthly realms. The Yoruba, Fon, and Congo peoples from present-day Nigeria, Benin, and the Congo region held ceremonies that included drumming, dance, and invoking spirits for guidance, healing, and protection. When Africans were forcibly transported to the Americas, they carried these beliefs with them, integrating them with the practices they encountered, especially Catholicism. In colonial societies, enslaved Africans were forced to convert to Christianity, yet rather than abandoning their beliefs, many practitioners blended their faith with Catholic elements. This process, known as syncretism, created a unique structure where Catholic saints became synonymous with certain Loa. For example, St. Patrick is associated with Dambala, the serpent Loa who symbolizes wisdom and fertility. St. Peter represents Papa Legba, the gatekeeper between the physical and spiritual worlds, and the Virgin Mary is associated with Ursula Frida, the Loa of love and beauty. Rituals also adopted Catholic symbols, like holy water, candles, prayers, and the cross, adding new layers of symbolism while preserving African spirituality within a European religious framework. Early encounters between Europeans and Vodou practitioners were filled with misunderstanding and fear. European colonizers and missionaries often equated Vodou with witchcraft and saw it as a threat due to its ability to unify enslaved populations, who found strength and resilience in these gatherings. The Haitian Revolution marked one of the earliest major historical events involving Vodou in the Americas. In 1791, a Vodou ceremony known as the Bois Cayman Gathering, led by the Vodou priest Didi Boukman, is credited with sparking the revolution. This uprising ultimately led to the establishment of Haiti as the first black republic in 1804 and reinforced Vodou as a religion of resistance and resilience. Louisiana Voodoo, also known as New Orleans Voodoo, took on its own identity, particularly as Vodou was influenced by Native American and Southern folk traditions. In Louisiana, figures like Marie Laveau, the Voodoo Queen of New Orleans, became icons of this religious practice. Laveau blended traditional Vodou practices with Catholic rituals, establishing herself as a healer and spiritual guide. Her legacy, along with Louisiana Voodoo, remains significant in New Orleans culture and continues to influence perceptions of Vodou in the United States. Vodou spells and rituals vary greatly, each designed for specific purposes like love, healing, protection, or justice, but all center on a connection with the Loa. Some well-known spells include the love, protection, healing, and justice spells. For example, a typical love spell to attract romantic affection involves setting up an altar dedicated to Ursula Frida, the Loa of love and beauty. Red or pink candles are lit, honey and flowers are offered, and a personal item from the intended person, such as a piece of clothing or a small token, is placed nearby. The practitioner invokes Ursula, focusing on their desires, and repeats an incantation or prayer, visualizing the love they wish to attract. A protection spell is intended to ward off negative energies or malicious spirits. It begins with lighting a white candle, setting up a glass of clean water, and arranging sage and sea salt around the area to cleanse the space. The practitioner dedicates the altar to Papa Legba, asking him to provide protection. They chant a prayer for safety, sprinkle the salt for additional protection, and may anoint themselves or their home with the water to guard against harm. Healing spells focus on physical and emotional recovery, invoking Papa Loco, the Loa of health and healing. The ritual begins with lighting a white candle and placing herbs like basil or thyme in a bowl of water. The altar is dedicated to Papa Loco, and the practitioner chants prayers, calling upon him to grant recovery and strength. The healing water is sprinkled over the person needing healing, often repeated over several days for the full effect. A justice spell is typically performed when someone seeks retribution or balance in situations of injustice. The spell involves lighting a black candle and writing a detailed petition on paper, which is then burned, and the ashes placed on an altar for Ogun, the Loa of war and justice. Ogun is called upon to act on the spellcaster's behalf, with offerings of rum or cigars as a sign of respect and encouragement. This ritual is often guided by an experienced Vodou priest or priestess, given its potency. Vodou rituals are rich with symbols and tools. The veve, a sacred symbol drawn on the ground with cornmeal, flour, or ashes, represents specific Loa and acts as a spiritual gateway. Altars are decorated with offerings like food, flowers, rum, tobacco, and personal items, each carefully chosen for the Loa being invoked. Drumming and dance play crucial roles in ceremonies, helping practitioners enter trance states and facilitating possession by the spirits. Vodou's history and practices reveal the resilience of African-descended people who adapted to and preserved their spiritual traditions despite facing enslavement and colonization. Far from the misrepresentations of dark magic seen in popular culture, Vodou is a deeply meaningful and multifaceted religion that emphasizes community, spiritual protection, and a rich connection with ancestors. The rituals, symbols, and syncretic elements of Catholicism within Vodou showcase its adaptability and enduring legacy as a sacred tradition for millions worldwide.